Hello everybody, this is Derek Smith from masterfulpersuasion.com, and today I want to talk about the art of gentle persuasion. I want to start off with a story, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard this story before. It's one of Aesop's fables, and it's called The North Wind and the Sun. So there was once a competition between the North Wind and the Sun to decide who was the stronger of the two. And a challenge was set to make a passing traveler take off their coat, or uncloak as they said. However hard the north wind blew at the traveler only wrapped himself tighter, pulling his coat tighter to withstand the wind. But when the sun shined its warmth on the person, the traveler was overcome with heat and he had to take his coat off. Okay? So the moral of that story is that persuasion is better than force. The wind was trying to force him to take the coat off. The sun, by warming him, persuaded him to take the coat off on his own. So the complete moral, though, of that story is kindness, gentleness, and persuasion when force fails. So think about the last time you tried to persuade somebody to do something. Perhaps to persuade your boss to give you a raise, or convert a prospect into a customer, or maybe convince your children to keep the living room clean, whatever it may be. Now, how did you make that request? Did you try to hit the person over the head with facts and lecture? Or did you point out the real benefits and rewards of their cooperation and participation with your request? Did you offer some type of compromise, perhaps? Now, think about the last time someone tried to persuade you to do something for which a little more than usual persuasion was necessary. How did you react to a lecture or a threat, whether it's implicit or implied? How do you respond to that? So I'm going to give you 5 tips to help you gently persuade other people. Number 1 is offer facts as needed. So some people want more facts than other people do. Okay? You need to take the time to learn which personality type you're dealing with. Those who want many details, or those who want more overview than detail. And then if they want details, you give it to them. If they don't want details, then you just give them what it is that they want to hear. Okay? Number 2 is point out benefits. Don't lecture a person. Share stories that demonstrate rewards. Personally demonstrate reasonable and expected benefits. When I used to sell cars, our biggest selling car, of course, well, one of our most expensive cars was the Chevy, what is that car? Corvette. All right? And my dealership, Corvettes, they didn't even let anybody test drive them. They didn't haggle on price because they didn't have to. When somebody wanted to spend the money for a Corvette, they wanted it. They couldn't even take it out for a test drive. We actually would send them to the factory and they can watch their cars being built. But when somebody came in, I used to ask them what they wanted in their car. And if they wanted sexy, cool, whatever, I would tell them a story about being sexy and cool in that car. Pulling up to a stoplight and the guy looks over and you see a car full of women and he have his Corvette and he kind of giving them a smile while he's revving the engine, whatever it took. Okay. So you want to point out the benefits that person is looking for that particular item that you're trying to sell. Now, number 3 is give the other person time to adjust to the new scenario. This is especially important if the request represents a big change. With change comes pain sometimes. It comes compromise. So you need to give them time to see that this is really a benefit to them and that they really would benefit from buying whatever it is you're trying to sell, be it time, be it an item, whatever it is. Number 4 is offer a compromise if needed, and if possible for you to do so. So everybody loves a win-win situation. So seek a reasonable compromise in which the goal can still be accomplished without one person feeling as though they've lost something. And then the last one, number 5, is allow the other person to come to his or her own conclusion. So often the other person has already reached the same conclusion, but just needs a little time to sit with it for a minute, let it marinate, let it make sure that that's something that they want. And they need to become convinced that it is the right decision for them. You've heard of buyer's remorse, right? Somebody buys something, they feel, it's not what I wanted, and they take it back. You don't want that feeling. You want to make sure that they sit with it and know this is what I really want. Allow them this time, if time allows, of course, as well as the privilege of making their own decision rather than feeling intimidated into complying with yours. Now remember, this is about persuasion, so we do want them to comply, but we want them to have a feeling that they made this decision on their own. A large part of gaining buy-in is simply allowing others to be part of the process. So even if simply to be their own decision maker in their portion of it. So allow that to happen, right? Whenever we have to persuade others to join us, Using the arts of gentle persuasion and compromise, point out real benefits of their cooperation and participation, and allowing them time to come to their own conclusions are often the real keys to getting things accomplished. Right? So that's my little tip for you today. Again, my name is Derek Smith, and this is masterforpersuasion.com. I implore you to come out and look at some of my other videos, visit my blog. The information is below this video. Please, I have a lot more to share with you, and I share often. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.